I didn't have a background. I wasn't trying to go to be a spice guy. But it was just kind of like a thing that led to a passion that was following and trying to help somebody out, which is my great grandmother and the rest of my family. And it led to us becoming one of the top spice companies in the US.
Everybody, welcome to Going Places. We got Chaz on, founder of Soulfit Grill. Chaz, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am familiar with Soulfit Grill. We did our research, and before we get started into kind of the nooks and crannies of things, we always like to keep things a little bit off kilter, a little bit. So, out of curiosity, here's a fun one. I have all of your spices up on my screen right here. I'm going to go to them so that I don't miss any. Okay. If you
Okay.
had to rank all of your seasonings from best to worst or favorite to least favorite, how would you rank them? And it's always fun because you got to leave some out.
Man, that's a tough one. So I'm gonna go with my favorite would be the Creole Kick, would be the first one. Next up would be the Summertime. Then I would probably go with the Honey Garlic. And
Mm.
then I would go with the Island Heat because it has a little bit of spice to it. Then I would go with the Citrus Island. Then I would go Soul on Everything, and then Taco Truck, and then probably the Black Pepper Ranch because it's the most unique.
Nice, man. Nice. You don't
No way
like,
he left one out. That was all of them.
yo, bro, that was all of them. That was all of them.
He ranked them. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I was just about to say. So
He
you,
knows.
so,
He knows
so
his product. He
e-
knows what he's selling, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
been
Knows
like
his
5 years in the game, man. So and I make them all. So and we have our two hot sauces that we released in December. So
Oh
those are
yes.
the last two.
And we
yo.
can order this online, by the way, right?
You can.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna be ordering some from you this week, man, because I need to stock my cabinet with some stuff because I don't have any. I don't even have salt in my house. I've been doing garlic and pepper. So
Man, we got the flavors for you.
oh,
So it's all
I'm
low
coming.
sodium too. So you can pretty much add as much as you want.
Oh yeah, I'm
But it's low
copping that.
sodium, no preservatives, no
Yeah,
emissions
we're
as
we're
well.
gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
Okay,
So
cool.
here, so listen, Chaz. Here's my next question. Do you watch Shark Tank by chance?
I do.
Okay, so if you were on Shark Tank and you had the board in front of you, so you had Mark Cuban. I can't even name off all of the hosts right now, but who
Mr.
would you,
Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful, which is also he's actually Canadian by the way, so he's not on the Canadian version of Shark Tank, which is Dragon's Den, which is hilarious. But I'm Canadian by the way. Anyways, that being said, Chaz, who would you want to strike a deal with most? Curiosity, because when I think of your brand, I think like this belongs on one of those television sets of somebody pitching for a larger deal. Who would you want to strike a deal with most?
I think Mark Cuban would be who I would want.
Yeah,
Um,
why?
and I'll tell you why. Just mostly because one, I mean, he's a tech guy. He's a big creative. He's kind of the youngest one on the show as well too. But also he owns the Mavericks. So and we're also a health company, health and fitness. So a lot of athletes and a lot of fitness people use our products. And so I think he would be the best fit to actually get it out there and hopefully get us something with the NBA and other teams as well too. And also, we can, have something in this, stands and stuff around the stadium.
That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. I love that. So, okay, now let's dive into the real meat and potatoes because Mark Cuban is a gangster. I love him, and I think that's a fine choice, especially for your company. Um, the whole purpose of this show here, Chaz, is to find a way to highlight folks who we believe are going places. And after being on your page and exploring your company for a little bit, we wholeheartedly thought that that was you. So kudos to you for what you're building. A
Thanks.
lot of course, man, a lot of people get caught up in numbers and followers and audiences and profits and losses, and they forget about mission, you know. And I think that that's the first thing that you consider based on what I've read about your company. So I'm
Yeah.
curious, how have you been able to avoid having to go for huge audiences, big followers, just to get started? Because so many people hang themselves up on that before they ever get
I
started.
I think with me is just following my passion. I mean, I would do this if I wasn't making any money. The fact that I am making money, I'm really happy about that. But I would do this because I started from my grandmother with diabetes. So I love to see people eat healthy. I love to get messages and DMs and stuff and people telling me that they couldn't eat and because their doctor said they can have so much salt or sugar and they now can have flavor. And I've been able to trick their tongue and think they have flavor and salt, but they don't. So I mean, it's following a passion is the reason why I don't get caught up in the numbers. I would love my follower count to go to 1 million followers, which would be great financially. But At the
You'll be
same
there
time,
soon.
I'm gonna do what I can do while I can do it. And so just keep pushing and keep following my passion and not try to look at what somebody else is doing. Also just look what I'm trying to do and follow my passion.
So how
All
do
right.
you find your passion in life?
You say, how do I find it?
Yeah, for those looking.
I think it's just like a God-given thing. You gotta just do what you love. I mean, you look back, and I guess as a kid, I've always loved agriculture. So I'm also the owner of Sweetwater Farms, our organic urban farm company. And so growing things with is always something I was also passionate about as well too. So I took that passion from growing things and dried it out into a bottle, and then put it on a larger scale. And that's kind of how the Soulfit Grill became born. So that was just a passion that led to something else and following.
Now I have a question though. And by the way, what you're doing touches me personally because black people and like my family, we suffer from fucking hypertension and heart
Yeah.
disease. I think my grandfather died from heart disease. My
And
great grandfather died from heart disease. My like my mom's side, they died of heart disease. So it's an important thing. But like growing up, like no one tells you can go and start your own seasoning brand. Like how in the world? And I'm not sure if you have a background in it because I know you went to I know you studied here in Texas, but like what how do you take it upon yourself and just build up the courage to say, hey, I can go and create my own seasoning? How in the world do you do that? What's the thought
man,
process?
it didn't happen overnight. I'll tell you that. So I'm a big gardener, which is now a farmer. We own a 6-acre farm, and so I was growing those herbs out. I was studying for law school, and I just kind of needed a stress reliever. And but growing those herbs out and drying things out and just kind of bottling it and giving it away. And it wasn't until my grandmother, doctor, told her with the diabetes that she was gonna basically have to lose her leg if she didn't change her habits. And so my idea was just really go in the grocery store and find her some things that was healthy because she thought all the spices in the store taste like Italian seasoning. And it was like Southern, I'm from the South, I'm from Texas, Houston, grew up eating Southern soul food. So it was nothing in those shells that was low sodium but had the flavor. It was high sodium but had flavor, but nothing low sodium. And I was like, it got to be something. So I went to stores looking and looking and looking, and I honestly couldn't find it. I mean, and so I decided to kind of take those things I was drying out and then mix it and try to play with the measurements with the low sodium part, and also try not to add any sugars to it if I can. So even if we use anything with a sweetener, it's made with natural honey. And so that's kind of how I got started. I didn't have a background. I wasn't trying to go to be a spice guy. But it was just kind of like a thing that led to a passion that was following and trying to help somebody out, which is my great grandmother and the rest of my family. And it led to us becoming one of the top spice companies in the U.S.
Wow,
Wow.
bro. That's inspiring. So Chaz, I know a lot of young entrepreneurs and founders, they want to start their own consumable, something that people can eat, drink, taste. How did you go through, what was it like starting your own consumable based company and going through FDA and that sort of thing?
Well, it starts. I mean, you definitely have to do your research. Definitely researching the things you're gonna do. Drawing it out. You can find it's manufacturers that you can find to kind of not have to deal with so much. But basically researching, googling, and then till you get to the point where you can do it. I started off selling at farmers markets. So 2014, 2015, I was selling at farmers market and getting the products out there. And then we started doing fitness shows. Then we started doing festivals, and then we started doing health events. Then we start putting on our own events, and then now we're into grocery stores. So you just got to kind of research and make sure that you're being safe, and you have, also insurance to back that up as well too, because you don't want to have any things come back on you as well. So the liability.
How big is the team, by the way? How big is the company?
So right now we have about 10 team members, and that's from distribution to people working in the warehouse, as well as we kind of work in house with our organic farm as well too. So everybody kind of works for the same company, but it's two different jobs.
Mm. So you're saying that you grow your own herbs and spices, you dry
Yeah.
them out, and then you bottle them.
Not anymore. So not the herbs and spices. So now we're on a larger scale. So we have an organic farm that we actually farm, and we feed families living on the food desert. So now we grow vegetables. So like your kale, your collard greens, your mustard greens, your beets. We pretty much grow seasonal okra. So we grow seasonal veggies that's also sustainable growing as well too, and organic. And then so for the spice things, it was just we grew too fast to be able to grow certain things because we grow sustainable and seasonal. And so you can't grow certain things in certain temperature, I mean certain times of the year. And so now we are getting things imported in organically as well. And so what we do grow organically is what can be sold that pretty much the same week.
And
Cool.
so,
So okay,
so
scaled.
you,
Okay.
so yeah, so you took a step back then, which I think is neat because a lot of people would have just gone right for scaling up, so that they could earn more bread. But you said, no, we don't want to sacrifice being organic, being natural, etc. If we can't grow it during this part of the season, we can't grow it. So we got to find different ways to monetize the business.
Yes.
Did you consciously part ways with making more money? Was that a decision that you processed?
No, because you can source things from all over the world that you can grow things. So we didn't kind of scale back. I think we scaled up, but we knew our limitations and what we could do on our farm. And so we knew that in order to do certain things and to grow certain things, that you need certain temperatures, and sometimes you need cooler weather to get, dried, to get bell peppers. That if you want to have bell peppers dried into your spices, and so you need a warmer season for that. So us, I think it was a scale up, but just being smart about what we're gonna do.
Bro, how do you dry a vegetable?
You can use dehydrators. You
But
can get
hold on,
some
hold
ways
on. No,
to
no,
do
no,
it.
no, no, no. What's a dehydrator, bro? Explain this to me like
It's
I'm 2
basically
years old.
something that you can put your vegetables in, and it's gonna not like suck the moisture out of the vegetable.
Does it look like an oven? Do you just like open it
Something
up?
similar to oven, yeah.
And how long does it take to dehydrate a vegetable?
Some of them it could take 30 minutes, and some you can do it the old school way. You can kind of let it dry out. You can go. It's like farms and stuff that does peppers, and they kind of have this big it's almost like a metal plate type thing, a metal with holes inside of it, and basically just let it dry out. But we don't do that method. But so you can do it several different ways. That's just new school inventions that came out. You can even buy those like maybe at Walmart for smaller scales.
So word. And then how do you create seasoning from it? So once it's dry, how do you do just like graze?
That's up to your magic and your and the creator of this.
Oh,
I can't tell you everything,
that's the
but
secret sauce.
I can't tell you everything.
I
But
have found the
being
limit.
successful off of my palette, we have a team member, a team that I'm mostly the one who creates everything. Sometimes I get ideas from people on the team, but for the most part, it's off of what I think I need or what I'm hearing from people when I'm doing local stuff or doing events. And people say, you should make this, you should make that. And so sometimes I'll say yes, sometimes I'll say no. And that project, me getting that thought in my mind may take almost 6 months for me to bring it to creation because we're a low sodium company, low sodium, low sugar. And so we can't just add a ton of salt and give you that flavor like most spice companies. And so with that being low sugar, we pretty much have to make sure it's right. And because we want people to come back, we don't want to have people like tasting this like, okay, this is just horrible. And so to get the right taste with being low sugar and low salt, and it's just really kind of hard, And so we use things that's tricking the tongue, which we can't say everything that we're doing, but basically tricking your tongue, make you think you have that stuff, but you really don't. But it's also all natural, no preservatives, no MSG, and low sodium.
So okay,
Yo,
I got
that's
I,
dope.
I, I got a question. I know Jesus, you want to come in. I can tell when you want to come in.
No, 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 no.
Chaz,
I'm laughing because he's like, well,
do
that's
you,
the secret sauce. I'm not gonna give you that because in my mind, I'm like, but how do you make something taste good without salt, like,
that's what I'm
and
saying,
without
bro.
sugar? Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. These guys are masters.
it's
So,
proprietary.
Chaz, we get to interface with a lot of entrepreneurs on this show, as you can imagine. By every definition, you are an entrepreneur. But I would actually jump, and if I may, consider you a farmer first. Do you consider yourself a farmer first or an entrepreneur first?
Good
I would
question.
say that's a pretty tough one because both entrepreneur is a farmer, but it depends. I mean, I do both scales of it. So the spice and the sauces and then the farmer. So, but I would say more passion would be farmer and then entrepreneur because
So,
my passion is growing things and seeing people happy, being able to eat freshness of it. But that passion leads to me able to dry it out and put it into a bottle and lead to more people, thousands of people being able to eat it.
so, as a farmer, when you're strolling through the supermarket, getting your groceries weekly, as a farmer, what's your relationship with food in 2021?
When I'm going to the supermarkets, I grow a lot of things myself. But so when I'm going, I'm just kind of looking to see how it is, how it's fresh. What can I do? What can we grow that's growing this right now in the season? So as a farmer, you're just trying to always make sure you're growing things that people like and what's hot. A few years ago, you know, okra was one of the top things that people were starting to like, and like in restaurants here. So you'll see them put okra in a lot of things that you would normally get okra in. Now, I think like collard greens is really popular. Like I grew up eating collard greens. I'm a Southern guy. My grandmother cooked soul food, and collard greens was something that just mostly African American people ate. And now people are finding out that collard greens have just as much nutrition as kale. And so when I'm at the farmers markets, that is very diverse. You'll see white people, black people, Hispanic people. Now everybody's in line saying, "Give me 2 bunches of collards. I'm gonna juice them. I'm gonna just wrap them in wraps. I'm gonna eat them as salad. I'm gonna use it like a lettuce type." And so that's just kind of how I go off of it.
So, okay, I like that. I'm going to build off that if you don't mind. What's your relationship with food personally as a farmer in 2021? Because so many people, they're gluttonous, they overindulge, they overbuy, or they underbuy. How do you view food and your relationship with it for you, your family, and your loved ones as you're strolling through the
I
supermarket?
think it's being sustainable and practicing those sustainable measures. I mean, so pretty much I try to be as least wasteful as I can, even going to restaurants. So say I'm going to a taco place and they give me, I've been there before and I know they give me a jalapeno and 5 limes. Now, if I know I'm not going to eat the jalapeno, I'll say, please don't put the jalapeno on there. If I know I'm not going to eat the limes on there, I'm not going to say, please don't. If I know I'm not going to eat the lettuce that they have, because I'm just trying to be more sustainable and I know the efforts that it takes to grow things. So I now say, okay, I don't need it, even though it may make their plate look more, prettier, I guess you would say. But I'll just try to be sustainable in that measure. So I'm looking at how things, and I know how things are growing, and I'm like, that can go to somebody else, or that restaurant can save money by not buying that one line for me, So that's kind of how I look at things.
That's so beautiful of like a way to look at life. And I wish I'm going to start doing that. So as a farmer, because again, I don't get to interface with as many farmers as I should or would like. How does it bother you when people aren't sustainable? Because the thing that you just described is such a small thing you could do. But to me, I'm not a farmer, so I'd say, oh, what does it matter? Skipping the lime, skipping the jalapenos.
Mhm.
But obviously for you, it's like, no, man, this stuff really matters because if everybody did it, it would make a difference. So, what is the real way that we as a society can become more sustainable, in your opinion? Is it small changes that we all
I
make
think
for
it's
those
just
actually
small
matter?
changes. I mean, small changes to everyday habit. Now, some things restaurants love to make pretty plates, make the things look good. But I think it's just those small changes, just like what I said. If you know you're not going to eat something, and don't order. If you've been there, that's one of your favorite spots, and every time they put certain things on there, they put cheese on there, they put this, and you're not going to eat it. Say, hey, no, I don't have to have that. Unless they just say we have to do it because some places want to be Instagrammable, which all places are. So they want that certain look on their plate. And if that's what they want, that's fine. But for the most part, some people are like, okay, you're saving us money. Although a jalapeno may only cost them 10 cent maybe, but at the same time, that could add up to a whole $2 a day. You can just add that up. So I look at the long term things, and just see how that can play out. But the small changes that we can do, growing things, you can also start your own backyard garden and having those fresh herbs. And I still support going to the grocery stores. I still buy things from grocery stores, but you can also do things at home as well too, because I think it's important to know where your food comes from. And it's also important, and also getting it locally is even more important because it's not traveling as far. When I'm doing the market, I'm picking it that same day at around 6 in the morning. I get to the market around 7:38, and I'm selling to the person around 9 o'clock, and they're going home probably and cooking it in the next 1 or 2 days, sometime the same day. It doesn't really get any fresher than what we're doing on our farm.
Look,
Wow.
man, I really love you mentioned something that really well, you said something that was really powerful that I liked when he asked you, hey, what do you have more of a connection with? Like who does what's Chaz's mission? What is it more aligned with? And you said farmer. And that's because and you mentioned food desert. I grew up in a food desert in East Harlem. East Harlem, all of Harlem, New York is there. John and I, we grew up in food desert. Like you just cannot get quality food. The
Mhm.
supermarkets are bad. The options you have for produce are bad. The seasoning is bad. The breads are bad. Only white bread. So very limited options for like people who are health conscious. So the fact that you say that that's where your mission really is in feeding kind of the hood in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think about this every day. So where I'm at right now, um, it's like pretty much I guess gentrified a little bit. It's becoming nicer. But when growing up, we had nothing but fried chicken places and wing places. And to this day, I mean, we're just starting to get things in like right now because it's become a hot spot in Houston right now. But I mean, I'm just like, man, it's just hard to eat healthy. It's just hard to eat something healthy. It's hard to eat something that's not fried chicken. And it's not wrong with eating fried chicken, but you just don't want to eat that every day. So it's like all the time. I mean, nothing over here besides fried chicken joints and maybe a few
Chinese
other places.
food.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, that's what's killing our people. The limit, not having good stuff. And then I go to the local grocery store that, I won't say the name, but then they don't have the freshest produce. It doesn't look like the Whole Foods, or it doesn't look like some of the Krogers or some of the other stores or the Sprouts. It looks like it's been on the shelf for, out there for a few days. And I'm just like, man, this is what our people are eating. And I was like, I know our farm is only 6 acres and we don't farm on the whole 6 acres, but if we can at least teach people how to do things and grow some of the things in the backyard, they can at least have a better way of doing things, a better way of living.
Nice. And do you offer that? Do you offer people the chance to come on onto the farm and learn?
Pre-COVID, we have an event called Beats and Beats, which is a pretty large festival in Houston. So we put that on for like the last 3 years, and it was going to be our biggest one in 2020. We're still not doing it this year because we want to be a little bit safe. But it's pretty much a garden festival where you bring in live music, DJs.
Beats and beats. So it's like beats, like musical
beats and like beats and music, and then beats and the vegetable.
That's dope. I like that a lot.
Man, we trademarked it just in case anybody else want to steal it.
So 22 is coming back 2022, right?
2022, I think we'll
be there.
Back.
Loop will be there.
And so it's an event, man, you guys set up and definitely want to come out, but it's free. We have a nonprofit that my family started over 20 years ago, and we pay for pretty much everything for all the members. And so pretty much you get there early. You can either do like a workout session, or you can also you can do a gardening session, and we pay a master gardener to come out there and basically teach you how to actually grow things and learn. And you can come out there and pick their brain, and that's what we pay them for. So pick their brain. I'm pretty much running around because I'm the host of the event, so I'm either on stage or making sure things going right. But we have meal prep companies, we have some large corporate companies out there as well too. And basically it's all for the community, teaching people. And so that event, you will see some of the aunties, the grandmas, you also see diversity. You won't just, it's not, even though I won't say it's the hood anymore because it's changed a lot, but you'll see a good diverse crowd of people, and you will see mostly urban hip hop music though. And so we like to kind of make people to feel like gardening is cool. You don't have to be an old grandma to garden and grow things, and but you can be cool when you're doing it as well too.
So it sounds like a block party at a farm.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it's like.
I like
so
that,
music, food trucks, funnel cakes, all that type of stuff, man. And you can come out there and have a good time. So it's usually in April. So it would have been probably like around like this weekend, around this same weekend for the last like couple of years. So this would have been our fourth one. But so we started, I guess, maybe 2016. And the first one started off really small, maybe like 30 or 40 people. And then the next one went to like a couple of hundred people. So and then we went to like almost 600 people out on the farm just having it. So,
gee, that's a huge block party, man. Farm party.
Yes, man. Oh man, I gotta say, Chaz, Jesus and I have had the unique privilege of interfacing with some really neat folks in our lives, as I know that you have as well. And nothing ever moves me or touches me as deeply as like connecting with the community. And like when I speak to you, the heart of the community speaks through you. And like I think you got a really beautiful soul, man. That's really cool about you. That you have that tenet, brother. I think that's really dope.
No pun intended, right, Nick?
What did I say?
Soulfit Grill. So you got a beautiful soul, man. You got a beautiful soul, you said.
You got a beautiful soul, exactly. All right. So let's end it here. I have one last question for you, Chaz. All right. What are 5 things people can be doing? The top 5 things anybody could be doing to be staying in better shape during these times.
I would say working out would be a big plus. Eating healthy, taking care of their mental health. Find a new hobby, a new passion, and then I would say probably pick up something like gardening. You'll really find out how stress relieving. You can relieve your stress by just seeing things grow. And so gardening or yoga would be something I would tell people to kind of pick up and do.
Wow, I think that I think 2 of those things were incredibly unique because like it's easy to say working out, and I think they're great answers. But to say pick up a passion, I think that does more for people than they could ever imagine. And also pick up a hobby that's just, it could be like golf or gardening or yoga, right? It's like it could be anything that you can just let yourself go into. I think that's beautiful. So I think you got a great touch with your spirit and love, man. And I think that I couldn't ask for a better guest, neither could Jesus, and a better founder at the helm of Soulfit Grill. Is there anything that we can do? Because we're based in Austin. Aside from order your spices, I'm going to put it in order for your spices on behalf of Luke.
I will be tagging you. You're gonna be saying when I get it, I'll tag you, let you know it's true, and I'll let you know if it's good on the low.
Hey.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm Dominican, so man, I like my seasoning, man. I like my food to be spicy.
We will get.
Just know it's low sodium. That's why I tell people, don't go in there expecting to be, like super salty type things. You add the salt to your health. That's what I tell people.
I don't even have salt in my house. Believe me, I'm not a big salt guy, so I just like savory, flavorful stuff. So can't wait to try it.
And let's also get John to order it and shout you guys out on his Instagram story, right?
Yeah,
right,
we will. Yeah,
cool.
We're gonna get some for the house.
Yeah. Cool. We'll get some for the house. Is there anything that we could do for you, man? Are there any efforts that you're currently promoting right now that you want to be loud about?
Man, we're just continuing. We have our nonprofit TWF, which is a large nonprofit that we basically just take kids and expose them to agriculture and nutrition. Just exposure trips as well too. Our farm will be something that would be cool. Sweetwater Farms HCX would be something that we just love. Even sometimes volunteers to come out as well and just let people know that they can come out and volunteer. As far as Soulfit Grill, we're in Whole Foods, but we also we ship all over. So we're going to be in more stores pretty soon. So I mean, anything would help. Any kind of exposure would help us out. Anything shouting us out would be great, and so we'll really appreciate it.
Cool, man. I got you on all the above, and maybe when we're up in Dallas, we'll get John and Jesus, because I'm based in Toronto, Canada, but we'll get John, Jesus, and Carrie to come in and volunteer and do a day with you guys.
Yeah, if you guys ever want to come down to Houston, man, we can get some good food too. And
can we chef it up, man? I cook a little bit, man. Come on, let's like do a little potluck or something. We'll come up.
Man, that's cool, man.
We'll come down. Well, you're in Houston, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in Austin, so I mean, I can definitely come to Austin. I love
come to Austin. All right, come to Austin.
Yo, come to Austin.
We'll shoot content. We'll make it a big day, man. We'll make a big thing.
Yeah, I love Austin, man. The water, the lake, so it's always something to do out there. So me and my friends used to take a trip out there at least once a year, and then go out there and just have a good time.
Yo, so Jesus.
Loop hosts Soulfit Grill, man. That's it.
Yo, that's what I'm saying, bro. What if Jesus, what if Chaz came down to the Loop house and then he brought a bunch of fresh produce with him? We'll pay for it, by the way. Like it'll all be, it will not be on your own dollar. We'll pay for it. And then we come and we do like a little cookout, and then we invite a ton of like local Austin folks. And then
that's what we're gonna do, man. Let's do that. Let's do that, Chaz. Let me know when we can do that.
Let me know.
All right, bet.
I'm gonna send you guys an email like in like 2 weeks. Like, okay, what's the date?
All right.
Yes,
all right.
Let's do this. Let's do this, man.
I think I paused. Did I pause? It looks like I paused. Check one.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Cool.
But Chaz, man, thank you for jumping on. It's been a pleasure having you. Chaz Ham is my people. He is going places.
Thank you, guys.